On this, the 25th day of May, 1927, comes on to be heard the trial of Mrs. Helen Palsgraf, plaintiff versus Long Island Railroad, defendant. A case invoking the civil laws of the state of New York. A non-biased jury has been duly selected, sworn to uphold the laws of the state, and impaneled to hear and decide the factual issues presented by this cause. This court is charged with making decisions on the law. First order of business is to begin with announcements. Is counsel for plaintiff ready to proceed with plaintiff's opening statement?
Thank you, Your Honor. Gentlemen of the jury, I am Mr. Wood, representing Mrs. Palsgraf. It is plaintiff's burden to prove by a preponderance of the true evidence, that is, the greater weight of credible evidence, that Mrs. Helen Palsgraf, on or about August 24, 1924, at approximately 10 o'clock until 11 o'clock in the forenoon of said day, almost 3 years ago to the day, she was unnecessarily injured by, and as a result of the fault and negligence of the Long Island Railroad. Said injuries occurred at the East New York Station. On that fateful day, the Long Island Railroad not only allowed, but encouraged, and by and through one of its employees, actively pushed a customer from the platform onto the steps of the moving passenger car, while that customer was carrying a mysterious paper-wrapped package, and in so doing, knocked the bundle which caused the customer to drop his paper-wrapped package, and, due to the sole negligence of Long Island Railroad, the package fell from his arms onto the tracks. As fate would have it, and as the Long Island Railroad should have anticipated, the package contained dangerous explosives. The moving train crushed the package containing the said explosives, which then exploded in a giant force. Such force that the penny scales that we all love to use to weigh our bodies situated upon the platform fell onto Mrs. Palsgraf, who was quietly awaiting another train. As such, the Long Island Railroad is responsible in monetary dollars to Mrs. Palsgraf for the expenses she incurred, for the pain she was forced to endure, and the excruciating mental anguish and misery that has most unfortunately manifested itself in a speech deficiency, a deficiency that is said to be permanent, that she will continue to suffer. We look forward to the due presentation of evidence. I yield to counsel for defendant Long Island Railroad.
Gentlemen of the jury, I stand before you as the attorney at law for the Long Island Railroad, a commercial railway that serves the people within and about Long Island, state of New York, and particularly in and through the borough of Brooklyn, city and state of New York. The railroad platform agent was doing his job when he assisted a passenger board the train. The passenger carried a parcel, like many passengers. Unbeknownst to the Long Island Railroad, the passenger's newspaper-wrapped package contained explosives. The Long Island Railroad should not be held responsible for the unknowable contents of a package carried by a customer who violated the criminal laws of the jurisdiction in carrying explosives. Under no scenario should the railroad be responsible to search the personal packages of each ticket-paying passenger. Defendant expresses sympathy to Mrs. Palsgraf for her misfortunes, but it was not the negligence of the Long Island Railroad that caused the explosion, the weigh scales to fall over, or Mrs. Palsgraf's injuries. Defendant denies responsibility for Mrs. Palsgraf's injuries and asks the gentlemen of the jury for a verdict in its favor.
Thank you, counsel. The court notes that all witnesses have been sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help them God. Plaintiff may call her first witness.
Your Honor, plaintiff calls herself to the stand. Mrs. Palsgraf, how old a lady are you?
43.
Are you married?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
3.
And prior to the 24th day of August, 1924, when this explosion took place, was your health good or bad?
Good.
Had you ever suffered from any nervousness or stuttering or stammering up to that time?
Never.
What kind of work did you do outside of your housework?
I was the janitor of the place where I lived and went out to day work.
How much were you allowed for your janitor work?
I was allowed $10 a month.
Now, outside of that, did you do some work that you got money for?
Housework.
How much did you get a day for that?
I charged two, $3.
How much would you earn per week in total?
About $8.
On the 24th of August, 1924, the day that you were hurt, did you start to go somewhere by the train?
To Rockaway Beach.
What time did you leave home?
About 9:30.
Who was with you?
My two daughters, Elizabeth, who was 15, and Lillian, who was 12.
Now, to get to Rockaway Beach, did you come down to the East New York station of the Long Island Railroad Company?
I did.
What were you intending to do at Rockaway?
Enjoy a day at the beach with my daughters.
When you got to the platform, were there any people there?
A big crowd of people.
What day of the week was this?
On Sunday morning.
Was it hot or warm?
Quite a hot day.
Now, at that station, do you know whether trains for various destinations go through?
There was one train passed before mine came.
Now, did an explosion take place there?
When that train that was in went out, the explosion occurred.
Took place?
Yes.
Now, as you saw this train pulling out from the station, which you did, before that, did you go over to some other part of the platform?
Just walked up and went to where I stood at the scale, around a small place.
At a corner of the platform.
At a corner, like that.
Let the record reflect the witness pointing at the corner of the courtroom. Mr. Wood, you may continue.
Did you stand near the scales?
I was next to it.
Now, as you were standing there and this train started to pull out, you say an explosion occurred. Did you hear any noise?
Firecrackers shooting.
Was the noise loud?
The noise was so that the flying of glass and the fireworks was all in my ears.
Well, what happened, if anything, to the glass or mirror of the scales?
Flying glass, a ball of fire came, and we were choked in smoke, and I says, "Elizabeth, turn your back." And with that, the scale blew and hit me on the side.
Which side? The left side.
Yes, sir. The left side,
What part of your body was hit?
my arm, and the thigh.
And your hip and thigh.
Yes.
Was that black and blue after the accident?
It was blue the next day.
And then was there smoke that filled the station?
I was in a mass of smoke. I couldn't see nobody.
Did you hear voices in that smoke? Did you hear cries?
Well, all I can remember is I had my mind on my daughter, and I could hear her holler, "I want my mama." The little one.
That was Lillian?
Lillian. Yes.
What did you do to protect Elizabeth who was with you?
I had her by the wrist holding her, and we got jammed in the corner by the crowd running away from us.
What is the next thing you recollect, Mrs. Palsgraf?
The next. All I could hear was Lillian hollering for my mama. With that, an officer come and led Elizabeth and I to the bench by the newsstand and left us sitting there and give me a drink of something. And then he took me down the stairs and led me across town and into the...
Waiting room?
And the ambulance doctor took me over.
Now wait. This officer you speak of, was that a police officer?
Yes.
Could you walk unassisted?
Well, I could just about walk alone. I shook and trembled from head to foot.
Now, after he led you over to this seat, and you got the drink of water and it revived you somewhat, then you were taken out to another room and sat down.
Downstairs.
Then the ambulance came?
Yes, sir.
Were there many ambulances that came?
There was quite a few there.
Did the fire engines come?
The fire engines were there.
Then did you get home eventually?
Well, about half an hour after, my two daughters and I took a taxi and rode home.
And then when you got home, what did you do?
The doctor told me to lay down and rest myself, and then I did that for a few days. And along about
Just a minute. Then did you call a doctor?
the next day, the doctor come from the Long Island Railroad company.
He examined you, did he?
Well, he just asked me about the case.
Now, did you get a doctor of your own, Mrs. Palsgraf?
Yes, I did. Dr. Partial.
When did he first come to see you?
He come on to Tuesday.
And between Sunday, when you were hurt, and Tuesday, did you notice any diminution of the shaking and trembling of your body?
Well, between Sunday and Tuesday. Night I didn't tremble until about Wednesday morning. During the night it kind of stopped, but my speech was affected.
Your muscles got better, but your speech got worse.
And I still trembled a trifle.
Now, has your speech been stuttering and stammering ever since that day, as it is now?
Ever since the day of the accident.
Has it been any better or worse?
Worse?
Have you worked and earned this money that you were earning from outside work since the day you were hurt?
No, I couldn't.
Did you keep up with your janitor work for a time after that?
I did that.
Have you given up the janitor work since?
Yes.
When did you give it up?
Nearly a year this June. Coming.
Has the doctor's bill been paid?
No.
That is all.
Mr. McNamara, you may proceed with cross-examination of plaintiff.
Mrs. Palsgraf, when you got to the East New York station that day, the platform was just a few steps above the level of the street.
Yes.
Did you have difficulty getting down the platform?
The station was crowded. We had to pass through a crowd, waiting for the trains to come in.
How many trains came in while you were there?
Just the one.
Now, did you see any men carrying bundles on that station?
I did not.
Did you have a bundle yourself?
My valise.
You had a valise. Did you see anybody on that station with a bundle?
There were people with valises the same as myself.
Well, you saw a great number of people there with bags, valises, and bundles of one kind or another, intending to board the train. Isn't that true?
Yes.
When this explosion took place, did you see any lights of any kind?
I just see the ball of fire. And then it was all black smoke, and I couldn't see no more.
Well, was that ball of fire that you saw made up of different colored lights?
I couldn't remember that because the flying of the glass, the cracking of the glass, made me tell my daughter to turn her back from fear we would get cut, and I can't remember anything after that.
Well, can you tell us whether or not there was more than one explosion?
Well, it sounded like a lot of firecrackers going off, like you hear on the 4th of July.
Now, prior to this day, were you troubled with nervousness?
Never in my life.
Your nerves never gave you any trouble at all?
Never.
Now, Did you give up this janitor work because of your children had grown up and gone to a business?
No, because I couldn't do it any longer.
Since the accident, have your children started to a business?
Since the accident, my children have started to business.
Are they all living at home with you?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us, Mrs. Palsgraf, how many cars of that train had passed you, or was the train standing still when this accident took place?
There was I should judge about 3 or 4 cars past me just creeping along. When we heard the explosion, they were just starting,
They were leaving the station.
just leaving. They wasn't off the station when the explosion happened.
And how near were you to the place where the explosion took place?
That I can't exactly tell. I don't know what train took the explosion.
But you saw a ball of fire?
The whole station seemed to be in a blaze to me at the time.
That is all. Mr. Wood, call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, plaintiff calls Herbert Gerhardt. Mr. Gerhardt, what is your business, please?
Engraving.
Do you recollect the 24th day of August, 1924, being on or near the East New York station of the Long Island Railroad Company?
Yes, sir.
Was anybody with you?
My wife.
Where did you intend to go that day?
To Rockaway Beach.
Were you up on the platform when the explosion occurred?
Yes, sir.
Did you see the explosion?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear it?
Yes, sir.
Was the explosion loud or not so loud?
Very loud.
Did you see any fire or fireworks?
Yes, sir.
Where did you see them?
In between the platform and the train when they exploded.
Now, do you know what caused this explosion?
I was standing on the platform, right as they come up from the ticket office there. You know, past the guards, where they get tickets, with my wife. And 2 Italian-looking gentlemen came up, young fellows, and they wanted to make this here Jamaica Express, I believe, or a local it was, I am not sure. And the 2 of them come, and one of them had a bundle under his arm, and the one fellow, who had the bundle, hit my wife in the stomach. And I turned around, and I looked at him. And just then the train was starting off, and this fellow who had the bundle was last, and the other fellow was already on the train, and the train was in motion, and the guard inside was trying to help the fellow on, and the platform man was trying to help the fellow on from the outside, as he had the bundle in his right hand. The platform man pushed his arm, and the bundle fell between the platform and the train. And I stood there for a while, and about a second later, why, everything went in black smoke and explosion, and my wife, she ran out, and she fainted in the street, and I had to take care of her right away and take her over to the station master. And I come back, and I wanted to take an officer from the Long Island Railroad over and identify the fellow on the train.
The Italian-looking fellow?
Yes, but they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't hold the train. They let the train stop, but the train continued right on again.
Now, when these 2 Italian-looking gentlemen started to take the train, you say the train was in motion.
Yes, sir.
And there was a guard on the train?
Yes, sir.
And a platform man on the platform?
Yes, sir.
And each tried to assist the man to get on the train?
Yes, because the other fellow was on already.
And which man hit the arm that carried the bundle, the platform man or the guard?
The platform man.
And he had hold of the right arm of the fellow?
Yes. He tried to assist him on, and he was trying to grab the train.
Was the bundle round?
Yes, and it was wrapped in newspaper.
Now, as they helped the Italian-looking man, they hit the bundle, and it fell between the train and the platform?
Yes, and the train pulled it, like between the train and the platform, and exploded it.
Now, did you see what happened to those scales on the platform?
After the explosion, I did. Yes, sir.
What was its condition?
Well, it was blown right to pieces and knocked down. The glass was busted and blown, just simply laid down on the platform.
That is all.
Mr. McNamara, you may cross-examine.
How long had you been on the platform before this explosion took place?
I should judge about 5 minutes.
Did you see Mrs. Palsgraf that day?
No, sir.
And you don't know the lady?
No, sir.
How did she get your name as a witness?
My wife, when she was over in the station master's, I gave it to the station master and to an officer of the law. My name, see? And the officer of the law gave it, and naturally I moved since then, and she only got in touch with me now. As a matter of fact, I was going to put in a claim myself, because my wife was in bad condition herself.
Now, you say you saw these two men, was it, enter the platform?
Yes, sir.
And they were running or walking?
Running for the train.
Running to make the train that was about to leave.
Yes, that was about to leave.
And did both of them get aboard the train, or one of them?
One got aboard, you know, when it was just starting to pull out, and he was just getting on, and the other fellow was running. And as he ran, he hit my wife on the stomach, and I looked at him, and he got on the train, and when he got on the train, the platform man tried to push him on, and the guard of the train pulled him in, while the train was in motion.
And the fellow that got on the train, did he drop the bundle after he got on or before he got on?
While he was jumping on, he dropped the bundle, but he was afraid of losing his balance. But he got on himself anyway, because he went with a running start.
And immediately after he dropped the bundle, did an explosion take place?
About a second after, just about half of a car went by when the explosion went off.
Did it take place just about the spot on the platform where he boarded the train?
Yes, about 5 or 10 feet away.
You say there was a railroad platform man there at the place where he boarded the train.
Yes, sir.
And he assisted him on.
Yes, sir.
That is all.
Mr. Wood, unless you have any redirect of this witness, please call your next witness.
Plaintiff calls Dr. Carl A. Parshall. Dr. Parshall, are you a regularly licensed physician in this borough and city?
I am.
How long have you been practicing as such?
About 30 years.
Do you know the plaintiff, Mrs. Palsgraf?
I do.
Did you ever treat her before August 1924?
Yes, sir.
What for?
Minor complaints.
Before that date, did you ever notice that she suffered from stuttering or stammering or any trouble with her vocal cords or organs?
She did not.
She had full control of her speech.
Yes, sir.
Was she suffering from nervousness before that time?
No, sir.
Did you treat her after August 24, 1924?
Yes, sir.
When after that?
August 25, 1924.
What did you find her condition then to be?
She was extremely nervous and very shaky and shook up and in a state of shock, and then she had some small bruises on her shoulder and side.
The left side?
The left side, yes, sir.
And at that time when you first saw her, was she suffering from any stuttering or stammering?
That occurred a few days later.
That came on how many days later?
I should say 2 or 3 days after that.
And how long did you call at her house and treat her for these troubles?
I called at her house for about 2 weeks, and then she got better. That is, she was able to get around, and then she called at the office.
How long did she call at your office?
The whole period, about 2 months.
During that time, how many visits did she make to your office?
About 20 times to the office, and I saw her at her house about 10 times.
Have you ever observed any change or improvement in that condition since that first came on?
No, sir.
Did it get worse or slightly better?
It stayed about the same.
Now, doctor, assuming that this lady never was in an accident before August 24th, 1924, and was in good condition physically before that date, as she testified, Assuming that on that date she was at a railroad station, that an explosion took place, a violent explosion, so that she was forcibly thrown up against a part of a partition and against a metal scales, injuring her left side, her arm, and her leg and side, that thick smoke that couldn't be seen through permeated the whole station. She was in a state of panic, partly dazed. Assuming all those facts to be true, basing your answer upon those facts as well as your own examination of her on August 26, 1924, can you state, with a reasonable degree of certainty, whether or not an accident such as I have described would be a competent producing cause for the injury you found her suffering from?
There is no question but that it was.
Now, Dr. Partial, can you state with reasonable certainty how long those injuries will last?
There has been no improvement since the accident. I don't see why there should be later on, as far as I am able to judge.
So, her injuries are likely to be permanent.
They are likely to be permanent.
How much is the doctor's bill to date?
$70.
That is all.
Mr. McNamara, you may proceed with cross-examination on behalf of defendant.
Dr. Partial, just what is the cause of this stuttering and stammering?
It is traumatic shock.
Do you know whether that condition might result from any other cause?
Not that I know of. Any shock would do it.
Well, is there any other condition, other than shock, that you know of that might bring that condition on?
No, sir.
Did you recommend that she consult with a neurologist?
Something was brought up about it, but those people are very poor and they didn't take to it much, so I didn't do anything about it.
Did you prescribe medicines for her to take?
Yes, sir.
Were those medicines just for her nerves?
For her nerves, yes, sir.
Would those medicines, in your opinion, relieve her of this stammering and stuttering?
Well, they did not. They sometimes do, but they did not in this case.
What was it you prescribed?
Well, principally bromides and nerve tonics and things like that.
Just medicines to quiet her nerves?
Practically, yes.
Is she still as nervous today as she was when you treated her?
Yes, sir.
Upon what experience did you base your opinion that this condition is likely to be permanent?
I say I am not a neurologist.
So this condition may not be permanent?
I am not prepared to say. As far as my judgment goes, it is. It has persisted for 3 years nearly, so I don't see where it is going to get much better.
How frequently did she visit your office after she got up out of bed?
She came in twice, 2 or 3 times a week.
And she continued to visit your office for several months after?
The whole course ran over a little over 2 months.
That is all.
Mr. Wood, if you have no redirect examination, please call your next witness.
Plaintiff calls Grace Gerhardt. Ms. Gerhardt, on August 24, 1924, were you on the platform of the East New York station of the Long Island Railroad Company?
Yes, sir.
Who was with you?
My husband.
And where were you going?
To Rockaway Beach.
And were you on the platform at the time this explosion took place?
Yes, sir.
Now, can you state in your own way what you saw and heard on that day at that place?
I was standing on the New York Station platform, and it was a Jamaica train that was pulling out, and there was 2 young Italian-looking fellows running for the train, and one fellow caught it, and the guard on the platform pushed the other Italian-looking fellow, and by grabbing his right arm he knocked the package which he had in his arm between the platform and the train, and as the train kept moving the bundle started to explode.
Before that, had the same Italian-looking fellow with the bundle struck you?
Yes, as he ran past me he hit me with his right arm right in the stomach.
Now, how big a bundle was it, Mrs. Gerhardt?
Well, I guess it was about this big, about 15 inches. A round bundle, sort of, 15 or 20 inches. It was quite large.
Was it round or cylindrical in shape?
I would say it was like oval. It wasn't square.
Was it wrapped in something?
Yes, a newspaper.
Was the train moving when the man who was ahead of the man with the bundle got on the train?
Yes, the train was in motion.
And then the man with the bundle was being assisted by the guard on the train, as well as the platform man on the platform.
Yes, sir.
Now, lady, was the explosion loud or violent, or what character was it?
Well, I will tell you. The first explosion was very loud, and after that, when I heard it and saw the screaming and all, I run to the street. And of course, when I got out there, on account of the excitement and being hit in the stomach, I fainted. So I really didn't see any more after that.
Was there smoke permeating the station at that time?
Well, from the first explosion, it was like all black smoke, it covered all the station.
There were several explosions then, were there?
Yes, at least more than one. Yes, there were a number of them at that time.
That is all.
Mr. McNamara, you may cross-examine on behalf of the defendant, Long Island Railroad. Now, you say you saw these two men that you describe as Italian-looking men enter the station?
Yes, they came running up the stairs.
And these two men ran towards the train?
Yes, sir.
Then I understand you to say that one of the two men got on the train?
Yes.
And the second man was about to get on when he dropped the bundle. Is that right?
Well, yes, but he got on with the help of the guard on the station.
The man standing on the platform with the uniform on, you say, push this man in.
Yes, sir.
And when that was taking place, the man with the bundle dropped the bundle.
Well, yes. When the man on the station took his arm to assist him in grabbing the arm, he knocked the bundle out.
Well, did you see the platform man's hand strike the bundle?
Yes.
Then the bundle fell, did it?
Yes.
It was the bundle, was it, that exploded?
Yes.
Did this explosion explode like fireworks?
Well, there wasn't much fire to it. There was mostly more smoke and noise.
That is all.
Mr. Wood, call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, plaintiff calls Elizabeth Palsgraf to the witness stand. Now, Miss Palsgraf, were you with your mother on August 24th, 1924, when the explosion took place?
Yes, sir.
Who was with you besides your mother?
And my sister Lillian.
Which way did you and your mother go after you got on the platform?
We turned to the right.
Where did your sister Lillian go?
She went down to the other end to a newsstand.
Then, did you and your mother, did you go anywhere near a scales?
Yes, sir.
Did you stop by the scales?
Right beside it.
After the train pulled in, what happened?
The guard stepped off and called out some names, and the crowd got on the train, and the guard motioned to someone for the train to pull out.
After the guard gave the signal, did the train start?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anybody try to get on the train?
No, sir.
What did you see or hear after that?
Well, after that, we saw a ball of smoke, or fire and thick smoke, and Mother told me to turn my back so I wouldn't get hit with any glass. There was flying glass around us.
Did you see what happened to the scales next to where you were standing?
It flew apart.
Did the glass of the scales break?
Yes, sir.
What happened to your mother that you saw?
Mother was pushed into the wall, and her left side was all bruised.
And when the smoke came down, could you see where you were?
No, sir.
Was it a big smoke, did you see?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear your mother call for your little sister Lillian? Did you hear your sister call for your mother?
We heard our sister call for Mother.
Go on and tell what happened after that.
Well, after that, we were pushed into the corner.
Pushed by what?
By the crowd, into the corner. And then later, all I remember is a policeman coming and taking us down to the other end of the station and sitting Mother on a bench and gave her a glass of water. And then we were led downstairs where an ambulance surgeon treated Mother and took her across the street.
Did an ambulance come?
There were quite a number of ambulances around.
Were there a number of people hurt then?
Yes, there was a lot of people hurt.
Did the fire engines come?
Yes, sir.
Then did your mother go home after that?
Yes, sir.
How did she get home?
We took her home in a taxi.
That is all.
Mr. McNamara, cross-examination for the defendant, Railroad.
Miss Palsgraf, when this explosion took place, you say you saw some fire?
Well, I can't remember.
The smoke, was it very thick?
Yes, Thick, black smoke.
And in spite of the thickness of the smoke, you could see the scale blow apart?
Well, we heard it blow apart as we were standing right alongside of it.
You were not struck by any part of it, were you?
No, sir.
That is all.
Mr. Wood, call your next witness for the plaintiff.
Your Honor, at this time, plaintiff calls Lillian Palsgraf. Lillian, tell the jury in your own way what you saw and heard.
Well, I walked down the station to my left, and a train was in, and I didn't know which train it was, so I looked back to see where my mother was, and as I looked back, I saw two men running, and one got on the train, and one was helped on the train, and then I noticed the bundle fell.
Did the bundle fall from the man's arm?
Yes, sir.
Where did it fall, if you saw?
Between the platform and the train.
Then when it fell, what happened, if anything?
The train started to go, and as the train went along, the bundle rubbed alongside the station and the train, and it exploded.
And did you see any smoke?
Yes.
Was the smoke thick or thin?
Very thick.
Did you make any call or cry for your mother?
Yes, everyone was running and hollering, and so I called for my mother.
Did you see your mother then?
Well, no, I couldn't get to her because the smoke was very thick and people were running towards the stairs and I couldn't go that way. So I called for her and after a while, a policeman brought her back to the newsstand where the benches are with my sister.
And they gave her something to drink?
Yes, sir.
And after that, you went home with your mother in a taxi cab?
We went downstairs and an ambulance doctor treated her and after a while, we went home in a taxi.
That is all.
Cross-examination by defendant's counsel. Mr. McNamara.
How far was the newsstand, Lillian, from where your mother was?
Oh, it was quite a distance. It was at the other end of the platform.
How far had you gone after you left your mother before the accident took place?
Well, just as I got towards the newsstand, I looked back because the train was in, and I wanted to see where my mother was, and I saw the two men running to get on the train.
You had gotten right up to the newsstand before you noticed these two men, hadn't you?
Well, just about to it.
And how far is the newsstand? Can you point out in the room here from where your mother was standing?
The newsstand must be about here, at this here corner, and my mother was over here.
The clerk advises that the distance is 29 feet. Continue, Mr. McNamara.
Could you see your mother from the newsstand before the accident took place?
Yes. Just about noticed her, because the station was crowded.
Then I understand this train came in and was about leaving the station, and you say two men came running to get on it?
Yes, sir.
And one of them had a bundle?
Yes.
And the first man got on the train, did he?
Yes, sir.
And as the second one was getting on, he dropped the bundle?
Yes, sir.
And the bundle exploded?
When the train started to go, and he was on the train.
It was the bundle that exploded, was it?
Yes, sir.
And then after that, there was considerable confusion amongst the people?
Yes, sir.
That is all.
Mr. Wood, call your next witness for plaintiff.
Plaintiff calls Dr. Graham M. Hammond, 40 West 55th Street, Borough of Manhattan, City of New York. Dr. Hammond, are you a regularly licensed physician in the City of New York?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been practicing as a physician?
Since 1881, 46 years.
And during your practice, have you specialized in any particular branch of medicine?
Yes.
What are your specialties?
Nervous and mental diseases.
Just tell this jury, please, a few of the hospitals that you have been connected with or are connected with in that capacity.
I am connected with the nervous department of Bellevue for some time. I am a professor of nervous and mental diseases in the postgraduate for 30 years. I am the chief of clinic at the postgraduate for the same length of time. I am a neurologist of St. Mark's Hospital, the Skin and Cancer Hospital, the Fifth Avenue Hospital, and the City Hospital on Rikers Island.
During the World War, were you connected with the United States Army?
Yes, I served from the time we went in until 3 months after we came out.
In what capacity?
I was alienist and neurologist. I examined the troops before they went in to weed out those who were nervously and mentally unfit. I examined all the militia in New York City, 27th Division, at Camp Mills and the 77th Division at Camp Upton, and the trooper at Camp Meade before they went out. Then I had command of the hospital at Camp Upton for nervous and mental diseases and command of the General Hospital No. 1 for the returned officers from the other side who had nervous and mental troubles.
Now, doctor, have you examined this lady, Mrs. Palsgraf?
Yes, sir.
When and where did you examine her?
At my office. 2 days ago.
Tell the jury, please, in your own way, what you found her condition then to be.
Yes, I noticed first that she stammered quite a good deal, and it was with difficulty that she could talk at all. If she persisted, she would get the words out. She had depression of spirits and crying spells and headaches. She had early mental fatigue on reading. She had early physical fatigue on trying to do any work. She had loss of energy and trembling of the body.
Continue, Dr. Hammond.
The trembling I could see. Her blood pressure was 190. When I touched the ball of the eye, she gave no sign that it hurt her. I could touch the ball of each eye with my finger without eliciting any sign of pain from her. When I placed her on her feet with her feet together and eyes closed, she fell over. There was a tremor in her hands and a twitching of the muscles of her arms and of her legs at times, not always. I think that is about the sum of what I found.
What did you diagnose or call, in your medical terms, her condition to be?
She was suffering from traumatic hysteria.
And by traumatic, what do you mean?
It means traumatic neurasthenia with more symptoms added to it. It is a nervous disorder which is due to shock and fright more than to physical injury. It leaves them with a very unstable mind and this collection of symptoms which I have just described.
What does the word traumatic mean in plain English?
It means from an injury, due to an injury.
Doctor, assuming this lady, 42 years of age, prior to August 1924 was in good health, that on that day she was in a station of this defendant company and suffered from the effects of an explosion nearby, so violent that it threw her up against the scales on the platform and hurt her left arm and left leg and rendered her dazed, the whole station being permeated with smoke, dense smoke. That she was led by a policeman to a nearby seat, placed there and given water to drink, and then treated by an ambulance surgeon, and then taken to her home in a taxicab where she was confined to her bed for about 10 days and her home for about 2 months, and treated by her family physician, assuming all those facts to be true. Based on the assumption that they are true, as well with your own examination of her, can you state with a reasonable degree of certainty whether or not the condition you found her in was due to the accident that she says she sustained August 24th, 1924?
Such an accident as you describe is a competent producing cause for the symptoms she shows.
Doctor, can you say with reasonable degree of certainty in your opinion whether or not there will be a continuation of these symptoms and this trouble?
Yes.
What is your best opinion on that?
Well, while her mind is disturbed by litigation, she will not recover. But after litigation ceases, I don't mean by that her getting any verdict, but as soon as the worry of the trial is over and she knows she doesn't have to go here on the witness stand and undergo cross-examination, then she should make a fairly good recovery in about 3 years.
Of course, that is problematical, is it, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
That is, she may recover or she may not.
Well, she might be dead. If she lives, she may recover in about 3 years.
Well, Doc. Well, doctor, this condition having now persisted for nearly 3 years already, the symptoms not having diminished in that time, would you say that that would bar her recovery 3 years from now?
Yes, her symptoms never would get any better as long as the litigation was pending. She hasn't a chance to get well until this trial is over.
But that might take 2 or 3 years from now.
Yes, all of that.
What are your fees for your examination and testifying here in court?
$125.
Is that the reasonable value in your opinion?
Yes, sir.
You never saw the lady before the day before yesterday?
No, sir.
That is all?
Cross-examination by counsel for defendant. Mr. McNamara.
Are there likely to be other producing causes of this lady's condition than that of shock?
Yes.
And a lady of her age and life is more or less subject to nervous disturbances, is she not?
She might be more liable to get a nervous disease at her time of life than at a younger time or older time.
Doctor, in your opinion, might this condition have been corrected before this time by medical treatment?
Not while litigation is pending. It has been my experience that it never is benefited or relieved or cured until the source of worry disappears by the conclusion of the trial.
You assume then, doctor, that she is under a nervous strain due to this litigation being pending?
Yes.
What is the usual treatment for such a condition?
Oh, freedom of the mind from worry and care, suitable physical exercise, suitable mental exercise, and medicinal treatment which is aimed at allaying the irritability of the brain cells.
Would that medicinal treatment be limited, doctor, to bromides and medicines of that character?
Bromides would be useful if carefully used.
Are there other things, doctor, that are useful in such cases?
Oh, yes, there are quite a number of things.
That is all.
Does plaintiff rest her case?
Yes.
Does defendant have any witnesses to call?
No, Your Honor, defendant rests.
Both parties have presented their case and have rested. The court will proceed to charge the jury.